everyone. Let's get right into it like usual, either seated or standing, just really elongating through the spine with our chin tucks for 10. Ready and begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, maintaining that length, head turn side to side, 5 each direction. Turn, back to center, turn, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we have a 4-minute warm up today. We're going to do each. Each one's going to be for 1 minute long. One we're going to repeat, okay? But the first one we're going to do for a minute is going to be a combination of our 4-count cherry picker. And then when we come up, we're going to add arm circle, okay? So we're going to get the upper and lower body. If you're maintaining a seated position for this one, your knees are going to come out a little wider so you have some room to reach down, okay? And then arm circle at the top, all right? So we're going to do that for a full minute, all right? And then this next move we're going to do for a full minute, and we're going to do it twice. I want to show it to you before we start, okay? It's 3 movements, and it's going to be an 8 count. So an 8 count is like a step aerobics, a dance class, something like that. But it's basic. Okay, I'm not going like crazy here. 3 exercises. You're going to do side steps. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I forgot we're supposed to do lateral raises with that. Okay, right here. Okay. After we do 8 of those, we're going to switch right into a march with our opposite arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then after that, we're going to go right into our heel kickbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're just going to repeat that cycle of 8 count for a full minute. After that, we're going to do our hip circles, 30 seconds per side. Okay, seated right here. Okay, all one direction for 30 seconds, then the other. And then that 8 count exercise again. I'm going to do the warm up standing today since I just demoed seating. Okay, seated. So we're going to start with our 4-count cherry picker with the arm circle. So 1 minute is going on the clock. Feet are wider than shoulder width apart. Ready and begin. We reach out, middle, inwards, up, arm circle. That's it. Out, middle, in, up, and arm circle. Okay. Loosening up the hip joints, the back of the legs, the shoulders with the arm circle. Moving at a pace that feels good for you. We're only doing everything for 1 minute, one time through, even though the 8 count, we're doing it twice, actually. We get 2 minutes of that. But it's kind of fun because it is a little dance-like. We have 15 more seconds here. And then we'll have 10 seconds just to transition into our next exercise. Just so we're gonna falling, the exercises aren't falling on top of one another. And time. Okay, so remember, we're going to start with 8 side to side, 8 march, and then 8 kickback. Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm going to count it out for the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. March it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kickback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. March. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kick back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lateral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. March. 1, 2, and time. Okay, so we're going to do that one again. You might feel that elevation in the heart rate. Okay, take your water breaks as you need it. We're going to hip circles now. Okay, seated or standing. At the 30-second marker, I'm going to tell you to switch your direction. Really working on the mobility of our hip joint, that ball and socket joint. And if you're seated, it's more of the upper body that's rotating around, but both of these, you're going to have a wider stance. And let's go ahead and reverse for the next 30 seconds. When we're done this, we're going to go back to our 8 count combos again for 1 minute. And then we're going to move into our first block, which is going to be an AB like last week. 10 more seconds here. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, get ready. We're going back to our 8 counts. We're starting with the lateral side to side with that arm raise. Okay, ready? And 3, 2, and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. March it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kick back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lateral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. March it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kick back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lateral. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. March it. 1, 2, and 3. Good. All right. Looks like we're on the same tempo as last time. So go ahead, get a drink. You might even feel your heart rate up a little bit. I know I am. I'm not sure if it was because it was counting the whole time or what, but it feels good either way. The first block we're going to go in is the same as last week. This is 6 exercises for 2 rounds each, ABAB. And it's 10 minutes long, okay? So we are going to do it. And what we do here, we're doing again at the end. So we're going to start with 3 count knee repeaters and our bob and weave, okay? So here, and then 1, 2, 3, switch, switch, okay? Other side, okay? I'm going to start seated for round 1. All right, so let's get ready. 3 count knee repeater in 3, 2, and 1. This is just like last week. 1. Remember, when you're seated, you don't have to worry about that leg switch off because you're set up for the other side automatically. You can pick your intensity. You can make this slow or fast. I recommend that nice strong exhale as you bring that knee up to get your abdominals nice and engaged. And time, okay? Boy, bob and weave is next. Remember, when we're seated here, it's more of a, we kind of just keep the lower body still and we work on the length as we slip under that rope and back over. Under and over. Under and over. So you get that side step if you're in your standing position. We're going to go back to our 3 count knee repeater after this one. And for the second set of all these is when I'll go to standing, okay? Two and 1. Okay, back to 3 count knee repeater, seated or standing. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. and lower body moving. Five more seconds. Good, it's time. Okay, back to that imaginary rope, that bob and weave, okay? In 3, 2, and 1. Under and over. Pick your tempo, okay? You do what works good for you. We're gonna move on. Our next 2 exercises after this are gonna be our V step and our rope pull. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so next one is going to be out, out, in, tap, out, out, in, tap, and rope pull. Okay, ready? And begin. Out, out, in. Feel like it should be more of an X step, right? You think of the legs. Whew. 5 more seconds here. Then we go to rope pull, 2 and 1. Okay. All right, that rope pull next. Remember, your glutes are engaged, your core is tight. You want everything to feel nice and solid. Your quadriceps, especially when you're standing here. So you can find some intensity, like you're a little bit angry when you're pulling down. Warming up those back muscles, biceps. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, back to V step. Okay, I'm gonna move to standing for a second round. You do what's comfortable for you. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Out, out, and tap. Almost there. 5 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay, back to that rope pull, especially if you're standing. Think squeezing the glutes, tucking the pelvis. Okay, core engaged. Here we go. We have lateral 2-step to knee raise next. And 4 alternating jabs to 2 squats. Keep everything in the lower body tight and contracted as you pull down with intensity. Time, good. So we have 2-step knee, all right? And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, squat, squat. Okay, I'm gonna do seated first. Knee, knee. Two and 1. Okay, so now we have 4 alternating jabs. That's 2 per side, and then 2 squats. For our seated variation, we're doing alternating leg extensions. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat, squat. And your squat will probably be a little bit slower than I said it there, just because I'm going in tempo with the leg extension. Okay, so don't be afraid to slow your squat down. Remember, feel what you're doing. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Back to the top. All right, lateral two-step to knee raise. Okay, and 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Step together, step. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, 4 jabs and 2 squats. My feet are about shoulder width apart. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat. Drive it up. Squat. Drive it up. Weight in the heels, right? Squeeze the glutes at the top. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. First block, 10 minutes of work. So that's what we're coming back to at the end, okay? Gives us a total of 4 rounds opposed to the 3 we typically do. Excuse me, that's it. Okay, so 12-minute block, okay? Single, double, overhead press or bicep curl, okay? Single, double. If this causes impingement or discomfort in your shoulders, you're working on the biceps, okay, which, you know, the insertion part of the bicep here helps, you know, give you strength for the underside of your shoulder here, okay? So if you have shoulder issues, stick with those bicep curls, okay? All right, and then alternating lunges or leg presses if you're doing the seated variation, okay? We're gonna go back to our bent elbow fly to internal and external rotation. This is either body weight or very lightweight here, like a 1 pound dumbbells, maybe 2 if you've got really good shoulders, okay? All right, and then the last one, hinge to row here, okay? Hinge, row, squeeze it up, okay? 1 and 1, okay? So we've got 3 rounds of this. This is going to be 12 minutes long, so a little longer than our norm, okay? And just like last week. So let's get ready with our single, double overhead press or bicep curl. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Seated or standing. Remember, if you're standing, you're keeping those glutes squeezed, okay, to help give you that stable base of support to lift overhead or to bicep curl. Gives you the leverage that you need to move the weight. Remember, a time is a guide. You can always stop early or start late to get your water. Stop in the middle, get some water, start up again. We have 5 more seconds here. And time, good. Alternating lunges, okay? You can hold on to the back of your chair, one arm on the side of the chair, or maybe you can use some weights and do it without any chair, okay? Here we go. I'm doing the seated leg press because this is our seated variation. Excellent, nice job, right? And thinking about each part of the movement and feeling the muscles work. Always concerned about the quality and consistency of our work over how fast we can do it, how many reps we can get in, right? We don't want to miss the purpose of the exercise, which is to engage and recruit the muscles. This is more of our strength set here that we're working on, right? So we're slowing it down, thinking about that muscle, right? Okay, next we have our bent elbow T-fly, okay? With the internal and external rotation. This can be done completely body weight. I have 1 pound weights here that I'm using. Okay, I'm pulling back, internal rotation, external rotation together. Keep your glutes engaged, okay? Because especially when I come right to here, you shouldn't feel arching in your lower back, okay? And squeezing your glutes and keeping the pelvis tucked is going to help so that you do not arch in that lower back as you come into external rotation. Really healthy exercise for posture and shoulder mobility. Strengthening the upper and middle back muscles here and the rear delt and those little tiny rotators, which is why we use a lighter weight. These are smaller muscle groups we're working here. Okay, all done with those. Now we are into our hinge to row, working the posterior side of our body, our lats, our hamstrings, and our glutes. All right, ready? We're gonna push those hips back, row it up, squeeze the glutes to lift. Focus on your lat muscles in your back when you're doing your row, and focus on your glutes and hamstrings when you're squeezing to come back up to standing. This exercise here, you're feeling like you're advanced, where you could use a little bit more weight than maybe some of your other upper body exercises. Our lats are very big muscles in our back. And so our hamstrings and glutes are big muscles too. So if you feel that you're nice and strong and you have, 5s or 8s, you have 8s, and you might feel like you're strong enough to use 8 pounds, okay? All right, we are going back to the top with our single, double, okay? Either bicep curl or overhead press. Going to standing, kind of moving back a little because I have a ceiling fan. I don't know if I'm gonna punch the ceiling fan. That wouldn't be good. Remember, my glutes are engaged here, okay? Regardless to whether I'm doing the bicep curl or the overhead press. Good, 10 more seconds here. Top around 2. 2 and 1. Moving into lunges next, okay? So you've got your alternating lunges or leg presses. If you're doing seated, you can be holding on to the back of the chair with both hands. You can hold onto the side of the chair with one hand, or if you're advanced, you can hold some weights in your hand and just think about your movement, okay? 1, 2, drive up, 4. Remember, that front leg is the prime leg working, okay? And when I'm coming up right here, I'm pushing through the heel of my foot. So right here, push through the heel. Feel your glute engaged. And remember to think of that space from side to side to help you stay stable, right? Coming here is going to be, see that? That's a lot harder to balance when your feet are in line with one another. Time. Okay. Switching your weights or using no weight. Okay, again, these are 1 pounds I have here. Then elbow fly with internal and external rotation. What am I doing with my glutes? Squeezing and tucking them, okay? Because especially right here as we pull back, if your glutes are not engaged, it's going to make your lower back want to arch, which can cause some discomfort, okay? If it's hard for you to focus on that, just go ahead and try it sitting down, and that'll take some of the thinking out of, are my glutes still engaged while I'm doing this, okay? So you can always just move to seated for this. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and time, okay? Switching your weights again. Again, if you're advanced, 5 pounds, maybe even 8 pounds, may be a good weight selection for you, okay? My feet are underneath my hips, okay? Here we go. I'm gonna push the hips back, nice and neutral through the spine, like you can put a tray on my back, squeezing my glutes to stand. So here's my lats and my back, and now my glutes and hamstrings. Good, we have 5 more seconds. And then we go through it one more time. And time, okay. Final time through here, starting with our single, double, and that's either your overhead press or your bicep curl. Maybe you wanna do a little of each, okay? Either way, if you're standing, curl and tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glutes. Single, double. By maintaining this neutral grip, which means my knuckles are out to the side. Remember, this is a safer grip to do some overhead work, okay? Versus if our knuckles are facing the back wall. Just positions your shoulder joint a little bit, it's kinder to the shoulders, let's say, okay? All right, next is our final set of alternating lunges. So again, either seated leg press, holding onto the back of your chair, or one hand onto the side of the chair, or if you're super advanced, body weight or with some dumbbells, okay? The important thing is you're remembering that space from left foot to right foot, okay? That's gonna give you that larger center of mass there so that you have more balance and support. And really what we're trying to do with this exercise is focus on single leg strength versus just balancing, okay? So that's why that space between is really important. So we can make sure we're thinking of the muscle contraction versus not falling over. It's okay. If this is your range of motion too, that's okay. Let's see that right at the end there. Okay. Back to our bent elbow fly with our internal and external rotation. Going back to upper body here. Let's get ready. Core is engaged and glutes are tough. Here we go. Pull back, internal, external, together. Back. Very lightweight or no weight. Again, if you're having a hard time to remember keeping the glutes squeezed, you feel some arching, just go ahead and sit down and do it, okay? Almost there, less than 10 seconds. 2 and 1, okay. All done with those. Last round of hinge and row, okay? Feet are underneath the hips, toes are facing forward, right? We're gonna push those hips back so that our head tilts forward, just like so, right? Look, it looks like you can put a tray on my back here, row it. Squeeze the glutes to come up. What we're not trying to do is come down with our shoulders like this, right? If we feel like we're rounding, we need to go ahead and rethink. Push the hips back, try to get the glutes to touch the wall behind you. Strong glutes help keep our knees healthy, right? If you notice that you have discomfort, all right, time guys. After walking, if you feel like your knees are achy, and sometimes it's an indicator that we need a little more strength in our glutes, okay? All right, so we are on to our final block here, going back to our AB, okay? And what I'm gonna do here is, instead of it being 40 seconds, I am going to take it to 50 seconds each. And you can decide if you'd like to stop a little early if it feels a little too intense. But we're just gonna increase the challenge by making it a little bit 10 seconds longer per exercise. So get your drink, get ready. It's just what we did in the beginning, okay? Our AB. So there's nothing new there. And I'm just going to stand for the whole one here since I already demoed it, seating. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. I found it. All right, so remember our first two are 3 count knee repeater, okay? And bob and weave, all right? Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Remember, if you're seated here, you don't have to worry about that switch off. You're just already ready for the other knee to go up. I always think of like I have a stick, I'm gonna break it over my knee here, break it in half, right? So it reminds me of. Good. Remember, we're increasing this by 10 seconds, but this is 40 seconds right now if you'd like to take more rest, okay? 2 and 1, okay? Bob and weave, okay? Got that imaginary rope, we got to step over and under and over, okay? And if you're seated, those legs are wide, so you can scoop it under like that. The legs just stay still with the seated variation. I want you to try to still, when you come back up on the other side, press through the heel on that outside foot. And I'm hoping that you feel a little bit of glute engagement, like glute engagement this side, glute engagement this side, okay? Think of the muscles that need to work, in addition to elevating our heart rate here. This is 40 seconds right here. You can stop here or you can carry on for another 10 seconds. We're gonna go back to the top with your 3 count knee repeater after this. And time, okay? 3 count knee repeater and 5, 3, 2, and 1. So last time we're doing these. It's like some standing ab work here, as well as moving all the joints in the body, so it's good conditioning too. This is our 40 seconds right here, and we can keep on going for another 10. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you that reminder in case you prefer to still stop at our original time. And time, okay. Final set up, bob and weave here. Oopsies. 3, 2, and 1. Over and under. Remember, as I'm driving, I'm stepping through that heel, Feeling this glute here, this glute here. Okay, try to find it. We're moving on to V-step and rope pull next. We're 40 seconds in right here. If you need to stop now, otherwise we're going to 50. 2 and 1. Woo. Okay, get your drinks as you need it. V-step is next. Ready? And begin, seated or standing. This is our 40-second marker right here. Three, two, and one. Okay, rope pull is next. All right, rope pull is next. Seated or standing. Okay, about shoulder width apart. Remember what I'm doing right here. This. Okay. Glutes are engaged. I feel my quadriceps in the front of the legs engaged too. Soft bend in the knee. Nice and quiet through the torso. I'm just kind of angry and I'm pulling something down with a little bit of intensity here, right? I'm not really angry though. Good, keep it going. This is 40 seconds right here. Three, two, and one. Okay, back to V-step. Step for the final time. All right, take your drinks as you need them. Let's get ready and begin. Out, out, and tap. I definitely think this looks more like an X step than a V step when you take the whole body into consideration. Woo. Next time doing these. Here's our 40-second marker right now. That's high. Excellent job. Okay, final set of rope pulls. Okay, again, looking for that intensity. Feet are about shoulder width apart. If you're standing, I'm tucking and curling. Here we go. Nice and quiet torso. Remember, we are working the core here through anti-rotation by keeping it still. No swaying side to side here. It's only the arms through the shoulder and elbow joint that are moving. We're under our final two exercises after this. Remember, we have our lateral two-step with our knee raise and our 4 alternating jabs. That's 2 per side. And then 2 squats or an alternating leg raise if you're seated. I forgot to sound off for 40 seconds, 2, 1, there's 50, okay? Whew, all done with those. You can take your drinks as you need them. Lateral two-step to knee raise or lateral abduction for 2 to knee raise. Ready? Here we go. Step together, step. That's it. Add a little bit of intensity. A little bit of hopping around is great for bone density, right? Helps keep your bones nice and strong. And we only do that if we feel confident in our abilities too, right? Good. All right, here's 40 seconds right here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. 4 alternating jabs to 2 squats. Feet are about shoulder width apart here. Okay, if you're seated, you're doing an alternating leg extension. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat, drive it up. Squat, drive it up. Here's 40 seconds right here. Uh-oh. And time. Okay, and then final set of lateral two-step to knee raise. Let's get ready. Here we go. Step, step, step. Find your rhythm, find your tempo, and try to enjoy it, right? You don't have to work out, you get to work out, right? Be grateful that our body wants to move and work with us. Try to better ourselves. Full body movements here. Here's 40 seconds right here. Almost there. 2 and 1. Okay, all done with those. Last set of 4 jabs to 2 squats. Feet are about shoulder width. Take your drinks. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Squat, drive it up. Squat, drive it up. Feel the muscle contraction, right? Don't go so fast that you miss it. Almost there. Here's 40 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, guys. Get a drink, okay? Whew. So that took our first time we did it was 10 minutes. This took us to 12 minutes on this last one. So we're increasing the amount of time that we're moving before we take a break. But of course, you always listen to your body and take your breaks as you need them, okay? Remember, that varies week to week, okay? Some weeks are easier than others, all right? Okay, so let's go ahead and give a nice stretch out here on the back of your chair if you're able to from your standing position, okay? And you can even kind of sway your hips gently from side to side to put a little movement into it if you want. If it feels more comfortable to stay still, please do that too. If you're seated, let's just go ahead and keep our feet wider than our shoulders here. And we're just gonna come up and elongate right here, okay? So I'm trying to create length through my spine, lifting my arms up. Good. And let's come out of that here. Let's go ahead and do some thoracic twisting so we can all sit for this one. And we can arc it over, trying to look over that back shoulder, using our opposite hand on the outside of that thigh to just kind of help us into that rotation, not forcing anything though, right? And then go ahead when you're ready and arc it, sweep it over and try to look over the opposite shoulder. No forcing, just taking it to its edge where it wants to go and then holding and relaxing into it. That's the key to stretching our muscles, is relaxing into it. You know, when we force anything, it's not really a relaxing feeling, is it? No matter what it is. All right, and coming back to center. Let's go ahead and do a neck and trap stretch here. Breathe out. Enjoy it. Again, one of my favorites right here. And then same thing, other side. Okay, gently pressing and pulling and good. All right, let's finish with some ankle work here. So let's flex and point here, okay? About 5 flex and points. And then if you can, just lift the foot off the ground here a little bit so you can circle in one direction, anywhere from 5 to 8, and then switch and circle in the other direction. Good, and then take that foot here cross it over, keep this foot flexed, pull up through the spine and just gently lean forward. You should feel a stretch right through these outside, very minimal movement it takes here, okay? Good, and release that. Now we're gonna do the ankle on the other side, flex and point. You can keep the heel on the floor for this one, so we're not keeping it lifted for too long, but then if you can, lift it up slightly here. Circle 5 to 8 in one direction, and then the same in the other. They're important, we don't want to neglect them. All right, good. And when you're ready, go ahead and cross the leg over, keep that foot flexed here, lift up through the spine, gently fold forward. It's not a lot of folding forward till you should feel some glute stretching here, okay? Staying lifted. Good. All right, and then come out of that, and then we're gonna go ahead and inhale up. Palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, big inhale. And exhale.